Hey everyone, welcome back. Adam here with Indie Farm Life. So today we're going to talk pond aeration. And I'm not going to talk about pond aeration in the sense of explaining what it is and do I need it versus not. The short answer is yes. If you have a pond, especially with fish in it, and you want it to be healthy, you need an aerator. I've got other videos about pond maintenance at large out there. I'll link that below. My assumption is that if you're here, you know you need an aerator, but you're asking yourself the question, do I build it myself and save a few bucks, or buy something from a reputable company that I know is going to work? Pros and cons to each, right? So let's talk about that. And while there's still an element of DIY to both of these, I'm calling one of these DIY and Pro DIY. This here would be your basic DIY. 100% built the cabinet myself, grabbed a cheap pump off Amazon along with the air hose, and slapped this thing together because, well, the time we were gonna get fish, I needed air. And it mostly does its job. As you can see out there, it's making bubbles. Turn it off for a minute, it's kind of loud. While it does work, it's not without issue. So you can see here, the sun's starting to take its toll. That's not supposed to fall off on this unit. And I went this route simply because it was cheaper at the time. I say at the time because at the time, I happened to have a bunch of building materials laying around that most people don't have laying around. This is Advantech subfloor from a house, like bulletproof stuff that I just had laying around. Old shingles. The cabinets that these things come in aren't necessarily cheap. And I thought, well, hey, I got some materials to build it, so why not? And then, like I said, I threw my cheap compressor in here from Amazon and put a couple case fans in here, thinking I have it all figured out. Ventilation on both sides. Great, right? Well, look how hot this thing still gets in here. Right now, it's 101.5 degrees in there, and the high is 121. Low of 11.3. And if you don't know, heat is the absolute #1 killer of pumps like this, or any compressor really. So when this thing's getting up to 121 degrees in there, you can imagine what it's doing to that motor. And I can already visualize some of the comments. Well, hey genius, you put black asphalt shingles on it, what'd you expect? And I've had comments where people say, yeah, paint them white. Yeah, that's on me. But irrespective of the shingle color or the roof design, etc., I've learned now by acquiring this other new unit, this thing's probably not spec'd as it should be. I do not have the airflow that I need. I thought that was the case, but actually, that's the case. And so 3 years in, the pump that is in here, not original. I cooked one. I mean, did I cook it? Not necessarily. The environment that it's in probably cooked it. 121 degrees. Wasn't happy. And so I thought I was saving a few bucks. Well, guess what? Had to buy a new pump. And so, like I said, it works, but define work. It makes bubbles in the pond. Real quick, I want you to take note before I forget to do this. The fan on that side is blowing toward me, as is this one, so this is the exhaust side. I want you to see the airflow coming out of this thing, or lack thereof. Just remember that. We'll come back to it. So yeah, it's taken a beating in the sun. Again, maybe my fault, because I could have put it up by the barn and run airline in the ground, which we'll talk about in more detail later with this other unit. But you might say it works. Look, it's putting bubbles into the water. It probably needs to be cleaned, but it's fine bubble diffusion. It's doing a great job of throwing oxygen into the water and turning the water. Well, after about 3 years, I kind of agree with that statement. It is adding fine bubbles to the water, fine bubble diffusion. It is turning the water to some degree, but not enough. And when I started down this journey, this is the first pond I've ever managed or owned. And I thought one aerator, actually it's an aerator with 2 heads, but one aerator location was going to be enough. Nope. So here in the dead of the summer, the water up by the dock is probably 85, 86 degrees. And as you swim out here toward the aerator, you feel the cold water when you get about 25, 30 feet away from it. Meaning we are not turning this nearly enough as we need to be. I guessed and thought one aerator was going to be enough. Newsflash, it wasn't. Also, newsflash, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy trying to figure stuff out on my own. And I've now learned that for the size of pond I have, one airhead's not enough. Oh, airheads, I love those things. They're so good. And that ventilation is key. So if you're on a budget and you are at that point where it's like, dude, I just need air. I don't care. I want it to do something. Something is better than nothing. Then go the DIY route. You're going to be able to get it done. You just got to kind of do some research and understand, the size of your pond. How big of an air pump do I need? Do I need a rocking piston air compressor? Is that going to be 1/4 horsepower, 1/2 horsepower, 3/4? How many heads do I need? Airline, etc. Is it more of a shallow pond? And can I get by with a diaphragm pump? there's a lot that goes into figuring this stuff out. Shoot, at one point I was looking at rotary vane pumps, just trying to understand what's an option and what would work. So that's an option. That's what I did. 3 years running, it works. But if you're like me and you got a couple kids, your day job's busy, you just want stuff that works, and you're at that point in life where it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay for quality and pay for a service to someone who knows what they're doing, then perhaps you wanna go what I'm calling the professional DIY route. And so here in the back of the golf cart, I've got my new Aerator. This is an Airmax system from the Pond Guy. We'll pop it open in a minute, but first, a brief disclosure. The Pond Guy did send this to me, as it stated in the top of the video when you opened it. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know 2 things about me. One, I don't like mediocrity. It is not my cup of tea. If this thing was a piece of crap, it wouldn't even be here. Actually, it might be in the bottom of the pond. It'd be a good fish habitat. Been meaning to add some of that at some point. Secondly, I hate doing things twice. I got enough stuff going on out here that to do things more than once seems silly. It's kind of why I hate mowing grass so much, despite owning a grasshopper. And so here I am now, redoing my whole setup because what I previously started with isn't quite cutting it. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at this thing. So this is their PS20, I believe it is, in their pond series. They got kind of 3 series. I was alluding to that earlier. They have a shallow water series, which is good for a half-acre pond up to 6 feet deep. And so that's running off a diaphragm pump, kind of like what you'd find in a septic tank. Not made for deep water. Although one question I do have maybe for them, I might clarify and ask, is if you have, like, say it's a 5-acre lake and it's only 6 feet deep, if you should just, you know, stack a bunch of those up, because I feel like this still wouldn't make sense to go rocking piston, but that's neither here nor there. This is in their pond series, and these are rocking piston air compressors, good up to a 6-acre pond, I believe, with 6 heads. So this is the PS20, denoting 2 diffuser heads. And then they have a lake series that can go up to 12-acre lake. I want a 12-acre lake. So top just lifts off, kind of nice polycarbonate. I think that's what that is. Very nice compact unit. That's what I learned right out of the way with their system. Once I have power, I'll plug this thing in and show you guys the paper towel test on the end there. My goodness, does that thing move some air. The compact nature of it, you know, it helps really funnel the air through it. Here on the end, you've got kind of the intake with a sponge. So real nice, able to clean this thing out. You saw the little screens and junk I had in mine and just kind of falling apart. Nice little thing, just rinse it out. I'm sure they sell these replacement. You could probably also get this at Harbor Freight, wherever you wanted to. But just nice way to keep bugs and debris from getting sucked into the cabinet. So it already has like a little manifold on top here where you can control the 2 different airflows. Depending upon the depth placement of your aerators, you may need to crank one kind of halfway or one all the way, because as you go deeper and deeper in the water, you're going to get more head pressure against that pump. Ballpark, this is actually understated. You're looking at about 1 psi per 2 feet. I think it's less than that. It's like 0.44 something, I believe, per foot. But you can use that as a ballpark. And so at 20-foot depth, you're looking at 10 psi, really probably in the 8s or so. So inside the cabinet itself, it's got an outlet hooked to a plug. So you obviously just plug this into an outlet somewhere, and then you got a switch. This unit itself is not GFCI protected, but I do recommend you plug the unit into a GFCI outlet. And so this one plug right here is going to pick up both the pump and the cooling fan. Little air filter right here, just crank him open. But one thing I noticed right off the bat is that this is actually metal. The other one I have is plastic. So that's all metal, great. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Made in the USA. But so is their entire unit. This thing is manufactured in the United States of America. And I feel damn good about that. That just makes you feel good, you know? So down here in the bottom of the cabinet too, you've got these 2 holes where the lines will feed out. So ideally then, you can bottom feed this. So these lines will go through these holes, feed through and underneath the bottom. And if you have conduit or whatever you're gonna do with your lines to run them to the pond, everything's hidden. Whereas up there, I've got my rubber hose kind of laying on the ground, probably getting, you know, UV damaged until it gets to the pond. And so again, this is the PS20. So here's what the aerators look like. These are interesting because they have thousands of tiny holes all throughout here on all these little bars. And then the air hose goes in here and you set it down at the bottom of the pond. The one I have up there is a membrane style diffuser. I actually like this better. While you still probably will need to pull this and clean it at times, I just like the design better. You know, a hardened plastic with air going through bubble versus a rubber membrane. I feel like this is going to hold up longer. It's pretty heavy for what it is too. And I briefly mentioned running your air hoses kind of underground. You don't have to have the unit sitting right next to the pond. You can set the unit wherever you want and run buried air line if you'd like. And so if you do that and you want to say put this pump all the way up by my barn and then run air line to out here where I'm standing, you can bury it and then use kind of these little boxes where you have an air line like the main line coming in, a manifold that sits down inside this. You can blast, you know, 3 or 4 lines out the side. So again, if you had like a main line coming in here and this is the ground, that's the sky. In here you would have something like this where you have this manifold where you could just turn, you know, lines off and on. So if you had, you know, 3 lines, you keep this one shut, have these 3 open, or if this one was, you know, 20 feet deep, maybe have that one wide open, and this one's only 9 feet deep, just open it a quarter turn or something like that. So a nice option to have, and a well-made little unit with its own built-in pressure gauge as well. These are just some of the things they offer. I don't know if I'll end up using this or not. Let me show you guys how I'm going to actually set this up. They do like look at your property and say, oh, you definitely need 2 airheads and this is where they go and whatnot. So a little bit of a curveball for them, but hey, I'm still putting it in the water. That's the in-game goal, right? And no surprise here, my solution comes with a whole lot more work for me, but it's going to be pretty awesome when it's done. So let me show you how we're going to set this baby up. So I don't know if you noticed, but we are out in the vicinity of the solar powered well pump. Solar panels here. It's not running right now, but it will be here momentarily when those clouds part. So no, this is not going to run off solar. They do make solar options, but dang, they are pricey. So with solar setups, you can have like 2 variants. You have direct drive, which is what my setup with the well pump here is. When the sun's shining, it's running. We have no battery backup, or you can have battery backup. The sun's shining, it's charging batteries. Those batteries are powering whatever you're trying to power, an aerator, a well pump, etc. While the idea of going solar is appealing, it's not really that feasible economically. The Airmax unit from the Pond Guy for the direct drive, so no battery backup, starts at like $5,800, and then their battery backup option is like $8,200. That's where it starts. So, you know, as you scale for a bigger pond, it's just going to get more expensive. If you have the ability for electricity, this is the way to go. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that since we are standing right next to the solar panels. All right, so what's my plan? As you saw in my videos last fall, I now have power to that barn. So I am going to bite the bullet, and we're going to run power roughly 450 feet from that barn all the way out here. Adam, that seems like overkill for an aerator. Well, what I just say earlier, guys, about mediocrity, didn't you listen to anything I said? This is actually going to serve multiple purposes. Bringing power out here is going to allow me to set a 20 amp plug or 20 amp circuit to run this solar powered well pump when the sun is not shining. So say nighttime if I want to, or if we have, you know, extreme drought and the pond's down and I need to catch it up at night, I can just flip this, turn it on, versus running that generator, which, believe it or not, is not quiet. So we'll have power out here. For that, we'll set like a 50 amp panel. Right here is where the water discharges, maybe if the sun ever shines, into the pond. And as we talked about before, I want to have a waterfall out here at some point. We're going to pull some electricity off of that panel to pull water out of the pond to add to the water coming off of this to make a real nice waterfall in. The new aerator is going to live where the generator is. So yeah, it's a weatherproof case, but belt and suspenders. We're going to set it down here in the shade underneath the solar panels. And so the electricity we put out here will power this. Will power IndyCar race car driver, if you didn't know, will power. And then we'll have a couple extra outlets out here if we ever want to put lights all the way around the pond and whatnot. This will be our electric hub for the pond. So we'll eliminate having any kind of noisy pump up that way. Everything will be consolidated out here. And like I said, that is going to live right underneath the solar panels. And while I don't know if I'll bury a dedicated like hard plastic air line through here, I may just run the rubber air diffuser hoses on the ground in conduit until they get to the water and make their way out. But that is for another video. So this time we're going to be rocking 2 diffuser heads. One's going to live generally about where the one is now, and then another further over to the dock. I think I have 300 foot of air hose. I'm going to pick some of this stuff up, and then we'll go plug this thing in at the barn, and I'll show you how this thing functions. And I don't know if I brought the air hose out here. The air hoses that I have 5/8 inch air hoses. They make 5/8 and 3/8. The 3/8 will get the job done. They're weighted. They just drop to the bottom of the water as one would expect with a weighted hose, right? But the 5/8 ones, man, it is serious stuff. All right, here we are up at the barn. Got some power now. So let's light this thing up. Plug it in. Then we got one plug here with a switch, and the switch, I believe, what I said, turn the pump on and the fan. Once you get it closed up, nice and quiet. It probably renders loud in the camera since the sound's bouncing off the bottom of this thing, but it's really not that bad. Yeah, that fan they got in there is serious. And I realize it's just a computer fan and you could buy bigger fans per se, but like this is just an example that they're not messing around when they build these things. They know that heat is a killer of these things and they designed accordingly. And so this thing's just open, right? It doesn't even have like a tunnel it's blowing through. Watch how this thing pushes air. I mean, that thing is moving some air, son. It does have a pressure relief valve up here. I was playing with it the other day, and I believe it was kicking over at like 20 psi. Let's see. It's got 2 air hoses. Yeah, right now it's like 19 or 20 psi, and I would assume that these are adjustable by just tightening these threads right here to add pressure if you need to. So it's nothing too crazy, right? It's a pump with some air lines and a nice cabinet. They've obviously got a whole lot more thought and research into this than I do, and I'm pretty impressed with this unit thus far. The pump has a 3-year warranty, so I'd have been covered with the one up there when it decided to die on me. The air lines and the diffuser have a 5-year warranty, and the cabinet has a 10-year warranty. I'm sure I missed something along the way, and I'll have more videos with more information as I get through this process, but I will put a bunch of information down below, including a link to the pond guy. If you own a pond and you already got a professional aeration system in place and you don't need an aeration system, I guarantee they have something for you out there on their website that could help you out, whether that's a product or just information. So thinking back, I am 90% sure that when I was building my aerator and when I was just learning how to maintain a pond, you know, pond dyes, bacteria, algicides, all the things that go into a pond, I am pretty confident that I gleaned a bunch of information from their website. They have an extensive learning section. Go out there and check it out. At minimum, hop out there and learn a little bit more for yourself on how to maintain your pond. So if you have questions about aeration or anything I covered today, drop me a comment below. Like I said, I got a lot more work to do before I can get this aerator going. Got to get this electric run out there and that panel set. So once we have that, I'll shoot a video installing this unit and getting this thing up and running. At this point, I'm yapping, I'm wordy, but hey, I'm learning. And hopefully you guys are too. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.